So I'm just going by the website real quick so that I can make sure that I'm not screwing this up. Okay, so on this website they have challenges. I can't tell you what the website is yet, but I promise you I will at some point. Hopefully, if they're okay with that. Where did it? No, don't play with my emotions. Ah, there it is. Is this the right one? No, that's the opposite one. Son of a bitch. I thought it was that one. Ah, yes, it is this one. Okay, good. Okay, so at least I can look at what they used exactly. All right, so what they did use as a framework is this particular function, right? So this is a function. So just like we have a main function when we call when we output hello world on our last stream, this is a function that will be called by main, right? And in this function, it's requiring that we have a an array already created, right? Called numbers, that's full of integers, all right? And then it wants us to fill out what is in, it wants us to fill out that function. We have to take it a step further because yet again, I don't have the website that I can just show off what they, yeah, I don't want to get in trouble for streaming somebody's copywritten material. So I'm trying to be careful anyways. So, all right, let's see. Okay, anyways. I wonder. Okay, so we have to take it a step further and we need to create the main function and create the array in the main function, which makes things a little more complicated than I was honestly prepared for today, but not a problem. Because the internet is our friend, right? Google is our friend. Okay, so basically we're going to create a array, and the way we're going to do this should be fairly simple. All right, so now let's look at our problem solving. We have the problem, we have sample data. All right, so we made sure we thoroughly understand the problem. If anybody doesn't understand what we're doing, feel free to ask in the chat, all two of you. And I will go over it again just one more time because I know it can seem convoluted at first. But yeah, so the problem, thoroughly understanding the problem. So we're going to do this hopefully somewhat right. So analysis of yeah. All right, so thoroughly understanding it. We've got that above, right? B, so we got requirements, right? Our requirements for this one, we're going to simplify it in one way, in that we're going to make the array and we're going to already know how many numbers are in the array, so we don't have to count them. I think next time, or if we still have time at the end, I'll go over how to count them from a vector, because that is actually an option to have it get the length, but we're not going to worry about that right now. So user requirements, right? None. We got none, 0. We don't need any interaction from the user at this point. All right, here's the fun part though, right? So we got data manipulation. I hope I spelled that right. I'm pretty sure I did. Okay, so this is where we start to get complicated. What do we need to do? Okay, one question we need to ask for manipulating the data is how many numbers are in the array, right? So we know that. That's going to be 7, right? 7 numbers, so that's odd. All right. So is the I, which is going to be the iterations, right, going to be odd or even? All right. We already know that. It's going to be odd. So that's one less piece of data we need to worry about. So we don't have to do any magic with that. So those two are going to be super easy. What is the tens place? Now this is, oh wait, what numbers are greater than or equal to 10? Okay, so we want the program to pick out the numbers. So in order to get the program to pick out the numbers, we're going to have to create a loop, right? So the loop is going to have to be an iterated loop, so we could do something. Well, let's just stick with the pseudocode. So we need a loop that runs 7 times. I know this isn't everyone's idea of pseudocode, but no big deal. Okay, a loop that runs 7 times. And then we are going to, and that's going to be equal to I. So the 7 will be equal to I. So we know what that's going to be. Each time it runs, so we'll go ahead and nest that again so that we know that this is all part of the same loop. So is, okay, we're going to call this is GT equal LT. All right, that's just going to be like our placeholder for our variable. Okay, so is GT, and then it's going to be, you know, I just realized arrays in C++ are curly brackets. Oh, no, they're not. Thank God. Okay. All right, so is GT equal LT? Okay, we're going to say that's is GT equal LT I. All right, so that's going to give us the, because our variable is going to be I, right? Okay, and each time it loops, I is going to increment once. And as I increments, it's going to move down the array. And that's going to be the number that pulls up on this part. So the first time it goes through, it'll be, you know, I will equal 0. And the 0 number spot in the array is held by 9. So is that, you know, greater than or equal to 10, right? So the first time is going to be no. So you'll have I, so int I equals 0, comma, is I greater than 7. I believe that's actually supposed to be a semicolon. I'm just writing this out a little bit more detail just so that we have a better picture of what's going to happen each iteration. And then So the int is 0, and then it checks to see if it's less than, or if it's greater than 7. If it's not greater than 7, then at the end of the loop it's going to increment once. Right? So that should give us a total of 7 times. And each time I iterates, it's going to go to another spot in the array. It's going to pull that number, and it's going to ask, is it greater than or equal to 10? Now what we have to do next is, once we've got that positive increment, or not that positive increment, but once we have confirmation that that particular number in the array is greater than 10, what do we do with it? Right? We have to do something with it in order to store it, because we're going to need that number later. So what we're going to do is we're going to make a variable. So create variable. All right, we're going to call that variable, well, actually, technically, we got to create the variable outside of the loop, or else it'll create the variable each time, and that'll screw up everything, right? So we don't want to do that. So create variable. I don't know how to spell today. Okay, create a variable. It's going to be int variable, and it's to hold. Did I really do that? Come on, guy. Nobody's going to tell me either. You guys are terrible. You're not my friends. Okay, so to hold the total number equal to, come on, man, greater than or equal to 10, okay? And we're going to call that variable. I know that my hands have decided to stop working. So we're going to call that variable, let's say, number hold. All right, and it's going to equal 0 in the beginning. In the beginning, there was nothing. And then it looped several times and became something. That's how things work. So number hold equals number hold plus fanoodle. No, it doesn't equal fanoodle, but okay, so the way this is going to work, or have to work, is gt equal lt is going to equal I, or as it says, numbers I, okay? And then we'll have, really? This is what we're going to do today? GT equal LT. All right, so is it greater than or equal to 10? And then number hold is only going to kick off. So if GT is greater than or equal to 10, then number hold will increment itself, right? Easy peasy, by GT equal, right? So these coding challenges are fun to me. I like them so far. I'm not a professional programmer, so I'm bound to be making shit tons of mistakes. This is just pseudocode, so we'll go over it with a fine-tooth comb once we're done knocking out the pseudocode. Okay, so number hold equals number hold plus GT equal LT. If it doesn't, then we don't have to do shit, like, because we don't need to increment anything. It's already incrementing in the loop up here. So if this isn't true, then it's just gonna fucking increment. Sorry, excuse my language. It's just gonna increment and then try again. Try again, try again, try again, try again, try again, and then we equal set. We're equal to 7. So, oh, that should be less than, yeah? Yeah? You think? Maybe? 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7, right? All right. Sure.